good day, Sunday. Going to the cemetery. Flowers for my father, grandfather, and grandma. So, happy Father's Day to the fathers out there. I'm a father of this guy. So, technically I'm a father, but not in a human father. I'm a human, but my dog is my kid, so. You know, I look back on time as I get older and more aware of me. And, you know, even though I had a stepfather, he still was a man in my life, and that was very important. I resented him as a child. As I got older, I was playing victim, you know, because I didn't get that. I don't know what I didn't get, but he taught me so much, and I realized that at 42 now. We can complain about how our father treated us, but there was a reason for it, and it shows the older I get with the disciplines I have, the accountability I have. You know, I can talk about some of the negative things, but the reality is that a lot of things are positive, right? I wasn't taught like emotional intelligence or nothing like that, but I'm learning that now at the age that I am now. I really never grew up internally. It's nobody's fault but mine. I can see that now, you know, and it's a beautiful thing when you realize and accept that you need to, well, you don't need to do it. It's up to you, or you can just live life in misery, right? To control your emotions, to be aware of you, not control them, but be aware of them. My father did go and work and support the family like an old school, you know, like you're supposed to. I think the more old school stuff, right? You know, you go provide for the family, and that's what he did, you know, and I'm kind of living in that now, like I'm providing for whatever I can provide for. He provided the material goods in the home, and you know, that's all I can really ask for, right? But one thing he didn't provide for me, I'm not putting him down, I'm thankful that he raised me and I am the man who I am nowadays, is like the emotional intelligence, like I said, the anger, the frustration, the things that he did was, for me, was unacceptable. Like, we did get hit as a child, and I appreciate that. We did get grounded as children, and I appreciate that. It taught me more discipline, you know, because I was sometimes grounded, and I had to write sentences because I was a bad kid, and that's acceptable, right? Disciplinary action is a big thing, I think. And I know that when we have kids, or we even had dogs, I didn't like how he treated the dog I had as a child, so I'm not putting that on my dog. I discipline him when he needs to be disciplined. But I don't put fear in him, because, you know, it's unconditional love with him, you know? Like I said, some things he did was unacceptable. my definition, but that's all he knew. That's how he was raised. So then he raised me and my sisters like he was raised. He didn't know any other ways to do it because that's just all he knew. And the older I get, the more I'm very, very appreciative of how he raised us. But a lot of his raising was fear-based, insecurity. Not giving us or telling us, self-esteem things, because he had self-esteem issues. Now that I'm older, I know that. And he put it out on us by putting us down or telling us we're not good enough. And, as a child, you kind of like believe that until you get old enough and you realize that sometimes we're raised in a toxic environment, and that's not for them to blame, that's not for me to blame or for them to know that, right? Because like I said, they just go with what they knew. He was good at what he did, but at the same time, he always put his people down. His kids down, his people he worked with down. He was more like a bully because he was a big guy. He was Hawaiian and Filipino, so he was a big guy. He was about a 300-pound, 400-pound guy, so he was big and he knew that. But besides that, he raised us to be disciplined and to not make mistakes. But as we got older, we resented. I resented, a lot. I rebelled a lot until my late 20s, 30s, my early 30s. I started rebelling, and I didn't know that I was rebelling because I was holding on to this conditioning for so many years, and I finally released it. I'm still working with it now. Like, I'm still getting beyond it till this day, but I know that I'm healing slowly, right? I'm getting better slowly. Because I know who I am. And I know who I am not. So, it's an everyday practice. It's a process. It's healing every day, every moment. Besides that, I'm going to, like I said, go to the cemetery, see some family members, give them some flowers, tell them thank you, and continue my day. So anyway, have a good Sunday, good Father's Day. Hopefully, you're doing good for yourself now